Uh, MP sir, thank you for joining. Good morning, everybody. Uh, this is a joint venture of Sports Authority of India and Table Tennis Federation of India, and this is baby child of our Honorable DG Sai Shri Sandeep Pradhan ji, and we are working under the guidance of Shri Shiv Sharma ji, Regional Director, East Sports Authority of India, Eastern Center, Kolkata. And this responsibility to run the table tennis athlete coaching and education program from Calcutta is given by the headquarters to our regional director, and we are working, all teams are working under his guidance, and I hope we will make it a success with the coordination of Table Tennis Federation of India and their coaches and officials. And now I request Mr. Atul Dubey, who is the program director for grassroots levels. This is specially made grassroots level for the players to feel about table tennis and learn basics basic exercise to keep them fit during COVID period, and may it will run after COVID lockdown is over. Maybe it is a continue. Now I request our regional director to say something about this.
Yeah, thank you, Pathania ji. Thank you very much indeed. Grateful. MP Singh ji, Dhanraj Chaudhary ji, Dr. Atul Dubey, Pathania ji. I have no words to thank you. MP Singh ji को हम जब भी बोलते हैं किसी भी काम के लिए, हमको मैंने पिछले 2 महीने में बहुत तंग किया है, but he has never taken it that way. He has always been kind to extend whatever support, be it launching and making the coach education program a success, or revising our syllabus for NIS diploma, or now this grassroots development program. He has come at a very short notice to speak for us. Thank you very much, MP Singh ji and Dhanraj ji. Atul Dubey ji will drive this program throughout for the next few months. This program is slightly different from the coach education program. Coach education program was meant for only the serving coaches of SAI and academies, private academies, federations, state governments. Whereas this one is meant for the budding players who may like to TT and do not have the facilities available closer to their place. They should learn the basics from the experts who we are fielding during the next about a year now, every day, except on Saturday and Sunday. They should avail this opportunity, and so that whenever we conduct our selection trials for STCs, NCOEs, their talent can be spotted and they can be taken into our stream. So that is the plan behind it. The DG thought about it. Really a good program. I hope it becomes successful. And I have no doubt it will be successful because MP Singh ji, Dhanraj Chaudhary ji, Dr. Atul Dubey, and Pathania ji are working so hard to make it successful. I hope it does. Thank you very much. MP Singh ji, I would request you to please bless this for 2 minutes, whatever. MP Singh ji.
Please. On the behalf of Table Tennis Federation of India, I welcome all the participants. I thanks to Khelo India Pathshala, and this is a very good initiative taken by the Sports Authority. So I am on the behalf of Table Tennis Federation of India sending this message to everyone that please join us and learn something from today. Our foreign coach, Mr. Clarke, will address tell the experience of his to the players and tell all the things. I welcome also Dhanraj Chaudhary ji and Mr. Pathania ji. Sharma ji, you are a great person. You have done all the things in a very short period. Very nice to see that. And I am also thankful to Minister of Sports, Mr. Kiran Rijiju ji, and Mr. DG, Mr. Sandeep Pradhan ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Most welcome. Atul Dubey. Yes, sir. You welcome.
All the kids and to our Secretary General, Shri M.P. Singh ji, Shri Shiv Kumar ji, Regional Director, Sports Authority of India, Shri T.R. Chaudhary ji, Chief Advisor of Table Tennis Federation of India.
Can you be a little louder, please?
Charge of the operations, Shri Dr. Rajendra Prathania ji. Since this is a good initiative by Sports Authority of India in joint collaboration with Table Tennis Federation of India, and this is for all those little kids who are going to be the champion for the country, for their respective states of tomorrow. This is
धनराज जी को भी दो शब्द बोलने के लिए.
I'd like to request Sri D.R. Chaudhary sir to kindly share his views of this program and bless for the future players. Vishwajit, can you unmute Chaudhary sir?
So I cannot find him. I think he is not joining the meeting or left. So he's not there.
Try to seek his blessings as and when he'll join. Meanwhile, let me have the privilege to introduce our today's keynote speaker, Mr. Brett Clarke, the guru of the session. Mr. Brett Clarke is a former Australian singles and doubles champion. He has represented Australia in Sydney Olympics 2000, and he is having the pride of conquering the silver medal in the mixed doubles event during the Commonwealth Games. He was a former Australian head coach and presently Indian foreign expert coach. Today, Mr. Clarke is going to deliver the content on the importance of serve and return in the table. So, house is yours, Mr. Brett.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'd like to start by congratulating SAI and TTFI on this new initiative. This is a wonderful initiative for the young players of India. So I'm looking forward to my speech and listening to the other coaches, and hopefully this initiative can help the young players of India think more about how they can become the top of the world in 10, 15 years' time. So I'd also like to acknowledge everyone for their wonderful introduction today, Mr. MP Singh and our VIPs from SAI. So thank you very much for your words of inspiration. Today, could we please put the first slide up? This is not the first. So the topic for today is the importance of serve and return. And this is something that I would like our young players in India to think a lot about. What does it mean, serve and return, and how important is serve and return? Because I think a lot about why the Chinese are better at the moment, why the Koreans are better, Japanese, but we have a chance to beat these countries, and but they do some things better than us, and two things they do better, serve and return, because they practice more. So this is what this topic is about. It's to the young players of India, to make them understand that if they think more about service and service return, and they practice more, then we can start to beat China and Korea and Japan in a few years' time if we improve these aspects of the game. So can we move to slide 2, please? So the schedule for today, these are the topics. What if table tennis was only 3 to 4 shots? So it means if the rule changed and you could only make 3 or 4 shots in table tennis together, what would you do? The next point is Sharat Kamal's rally length. So we'll have a look at how long his points go for when he plays in his matches. Also, why serve and return are king? Why serve and return are so important? The next point, practice your serve and return. How you can practice your serve and return, even in lockdown, if you have a table or even on the bed or floor at home, how you can practice your serve and return to become one of the best players in the world eventually. Talk about the best serves and returns. And I'll also talk about, you still need to be good at backhand, forehand, and footwork. We cannot forget backhand, forehand, footwork. These are incredibly important, even though today I'm going to talk mostly about serve and return. And the last point is, if we're lucky, Sharad Kamal may come and join us and help answer some of your questions and some of my questions about his great serve and return. Okay, let's go to next slide, please. Okay, so this question, what if table tennis was only 3 or 4 shots, including the serve? So the point was you could serve, they could return, you could play third ball, and maybe that's the finish, or maybe they make one block or counter. What would you train or practice if it was only 3 or 4 shots with a new rule? So you would, of course, if there was only 3 or 4 shots, you would practice your serve, you would practice your return, you would practice your third ball attack, and you would practice your block and counter. Because if there was no more shots, why should you practice topspin, or many other things? These are the 4 things you would practice if there were only 3 or 4 shots in every rally, and then the umpire stopped and you start again. 3 or 4 shots, including serve, start again. Could I please have Hindi translate?
Okay, thank you, Brett. ब्रैट ने अभी हमको बताया है कि यदि टेबल टेनिस अभी जिस फॉर्मेट में खेला जा रहा है, यदि सपोज कल इसके नियम बदल दिए जाते हैं और इस तरह से नियम आता है, जिस तरह से कि एक एक्सपीडाइट का नियम होता है जिसमें कि हमको 13 रिटर्न्स के पहले स्कोर करना होता है, अदरवाइज रिसीवर उसका विनर हो जाता है। उसी तरह से यदि कल ऐसा कोई नियम आ जाता है जिसमें कि हमको 3 या 4 रैलीज के अंदर ही, 3 या 4 रिटर्न्स के अंदर ही अपनी रैली को मैच्योर करना हो या पॉइंट गेन करना हो, तब उस स्थिति में आप क्या करेंगे? तो आज जिस टॉपिक्स पे बात की जाने वाली है, या जिस टॉपिक्स पे आज ब्रैट हमको कंटेंट डिलीवर करने वाले हैं, उनमें सबसे जरूरी है कि सर्विस को और रिटर्न को, फर्स्ट रिटर्न या थर्ड रिटर्न को किस तरह से मजबूत किया जाए या किस तरह से उस पर कंट्रोल डेवलप किया जाए। उसके बाद में यदि हम लोगों का आज गुड लक रहा तो शायद जो सेकंड हाफ या थर्ड हाफ इस टॉप का होगा, उसमें हमारे ऑल टाइम ग्रेट जो हैं शरद, वो भी हमारे स्टॉक को ज्वाइन करेंगे, शरद कमल। Yes, Brett, please proceed.
Could we go to the next slide, please? So many of you will know that Sharad Kamal, he won the last World Tour tournament, which was the Oman Open. So he had a very good tournament and beat many of the best players in the world at the Oman Open. So after the tournament, I decided to ask a question. What is the average length of the rally? What is the average rally length when Sharad Kamal is playing these big matches, semi-finals and finals against some of the best players in the world and winning? Is it 10 shots every rally, or is it only a few shots every rally? This is the question I asked. So I did some analysis, and when after this talk, you will get a PDF and you can watch these matches. We will not watch these matches now, but you can watch these matches after. This is the semi-final and final when Sharad Kamal won the Oman Open. So he played very, very well, very good games, very high level. And you can watch for yourself and decide for yourself how long these rallies are. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So in both of the matches, there were about 125 rallies. And I looked at what is the average length for Sharad Kamal when he plays in a match. Okay, so how many shots? There's a serve, there is a return, there's a third ball attack, maybe a counter, but how much
कितनी लंबी चली है, कितनी एक्सपेंडेड रैली चली है। करीब 125 रैलीज को ब्रेट ने उनके ऊपर रिसर्च किया था। तो उन 125 रैलीज के अंदर जो एक एवरेज स्कोर किया गया है, दिस इज 3.6, मींस यदि तीसरी या चौथे रिटर्न के अंदर ही पॉइंट स्कोर कर लिए गए हैं। सो इनका जो कहने का जो तात्पर्य है ब्रेट का, वो ये है कि रैली सर्विस करने के बाद में 5वें या 6ठे रिटर्न से पहले पहले ही पॉइंट स्कोर कर लिया गया है। ब्रेट प्लीज।
Okay, so when you think about this, what should we be practicing? If Sharad Kamal is winning World Tour tournament and only averaging 3.6 shots, what are the most important things? So it comes back to serve, return, third ball attack, and counter. This is, 4 shots is not normal. It's normally only 3.6. So you might say, maybe Sharad Kamal is very aggressive, but I've looked at Chinese playing and it's the same. It's 3.6. When the Chinese play against other players, the average is still 3.6. So this is normal in table tennis. There's not so many big rallies in table tennis, and 3.6 is the average. Next slide, please. Okay, this is, and we're going to watch this very quickly. We'll watch the first 9 recorded points of Sharad Kamal playing against the number 18 player in the world at last year's Australian Open. So the match started, this was first round, players were both nervous, and watch how fast the points are. Stop the video, please. And back to slide. So you can see here that in this game, the first game of the Australian Open, both players are a little bit nervous. Number 35 at the time in the world versus number 18. If you look at the numbers in the squares, there's 2 shots, 4 shots, 4 shots, 1 shot, 1 shot, 1 shot. The average length of rally is only 2.2. Serve and return, sometimes third ball attack, but almost nothing else. So this is you need to understand what is important in table tennis. If you come out in a tournament and you play a big international match, you need to understand that serve and return are very, very important. Translate, please.
As you can see, जो मेन चाइनीज प्लेयर्स हैं, उनका भी जो एवरेज है वो 3.6 के अंदर ही रैली के पॉइंट स्कोर करने का है। अभी जो वीडियो आपको दिखाया गया था, ये एक ऑस्ट्रेलियन ओपन का वीडियो है, जिसमें उस वक्त हमारे शरद की वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग 35th थी और जिनके अगेंस्ट वो खेल रहे हैं उनकी वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग 18 थे। अगर आपने इस पूरे वीडियो को अभी देखा है तो आपने पाया होगा कि जितने भी पॉइंट्स स्कोर किए गए हैं वो या तो सर्व पे किए गए हैं या थर्ड बॉल रिटर्न के ऊपर वो स्कोर कर लिए गए हैं। ब्रेट के कहने का तात्पर्य ये है कि चाहे वो चाइनीज प्लेयर्स हों या वर्ल्ड के और टॉप क्लास प्लेयर्स हैं, वो रैली को जल्दी से जल्दी फिनिश करके पॉइंट्स को स्कोर कर लेने वाले गेम की स्ट्रेटेजी को ही इन दिनों में फॉलो कर रहे हैं। ब्रेट प्लीज।
Okay, next slide, please. So serve and return a king. Why do I say serve and return a king? Why is the serve and return so important? Because all rallies have a serve and most rallies have a return. But you saw in Sharad's match, not every rally has a topspin backhand. Not every rally has topspin, but every rally has a serve and almost every rally has a return. So this is why I say that you should practice your serve and your return, even in this lockdown. If you can serve at home, onto the floor, onto the bed, onto the table, if you have a table, then it's very, very important that the young players, young Indian players, they practice their serve and they practice their return a lot, because this is what happens in a real international match. There's many short points, and there's not so many long points. So you must have a very good serve and a very good return if you want to become a top international player. Translate, please.
ब्रैट के इस कथन का तात्पर्य यही है कि इन दिनों में जो टेबल टेनिस खेली जा रही है उसमें जो पॉइंट्स स्कोर किए जाते हैं उसमें लॉन्ग रैलीज का प्रचलन अब बहुत कम हो गया है और शॉर्ट रैलीज के अंदर ही पॉइंट्स स्कोर किए जा रहे हैं. ब्रैट.
Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So, practicing your serves. How should you practice your serve? What should you do? Okay, so to be very simple, on the left we have one video. Can we play that video, please? Please play the video. Okay, I will talk anyway. Keep trying. In this video, you will see Ma Long. You'll see Ma Long, and he has a bucket with balls, container, and he's just practicing his serve. He's not practicing his backhand. He's not practicing his forehand. He has many balls, and he's just practicing this time backspin serve, straight backspin, high toss, straight backspin. So this is what we need to see in India. Like if you look around the hall, you can see every Chinese player here is practicing their serve, not backhand, not forehand, not counter spin. They're practicing their serve. And this is why the East Asian players, the Chinese, Japanese, they have the best serves, because this is what they do every day. They're not just practicing backhand and forehand, they're practicing serves. So if you can get a bucket with many balls, this is fantastic. Then if you have many balls, you can practice many serves. And if you have a table, it's good. But if you don't have a table and it's open in your apartment, you can still practice your serve, just serve to the floor. You don't need a table. You can still serve at home. So this is what we need. This is what India needs. What you see here is great. Many players practicing their serve. But in India, you don't see this so much. Translate, please.
Okay. ब्रैट कह रहे हैं कि यदि पिछले जो 7-8 हफ्ते हमारे लॉकडाउन में बीते हैं तो यदि आपको हॉल में जाकर के रेगुलर टेबल टेनिस खेलने का मौका नहीं भी मिला है तो सर्व की प्रैक्टिस तो आप कहीं भी कर सकते हैं, अपने घर में भी कर सकते हैं. और यदि आपको बिल्कुल पूरी की पूरी स्टैंडर्डाइज टेबल की आवश्यकता नहीं है, आपको ऐसे जहां जैसे मौका मिल रहा है, आप अपने घर में रह करके एक छोटे से हॉल में या कहीं पर भी अपनी सर्व्स की प्रैक्टिसेस को, सर्व की एफिशिएंसी को इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं. Right.
Okay, fantastic. Can we go to the video on the other side, please, and go 20 seconds forward? Forward 20 seconds. In this video, Ma Long, he doesn't have so many balls. He only has 2 or 3 balls, but he still practices his serve. He doesn't need many balls. He can still practice his serve with 2 or 3 balls. So we'll watch him practice with 2 or 3 balls and what he does. He's by himself. He's in lockdown. But he's still practicing. Watch. He has 2 or 3 balls. Service. And then he walks and he picks up the balls. He doesn't have 100 balls or 200 balls. He has 3 balls. But he serves 3 balls, then he walks to pick up the balls. He thinks about his serve when he's walking to pick up the balls. So if an Olympic champion can serve 2 or 3 balls and then collect the ball, Indian juniors can serve 2 or 3 balls and then collect the balls. You don't need to have 200 balls. You don't even need a table. You can just practice your serve on the floor and go and collect the balls. Translate, please.
जैसे कि हम वीडियो में देख रहे हैं कि आप मालोंग को देख रहे हैं, ओलंपिक गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट हैं और वो अपने आप में 3 या 4 बॉल्स के साथ ही प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं। आपके पास में एक बहुत सारा मल्टी बॉल का जखीरा होने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। 3-3, 4-4 बॉल से आप सर्विस की प्रैक्टिस कीजिए और फिर बॉल्स को कलेक्ट कीजिए और फिर वापस अपनी सर्विस की प्रैक्टिसेस पे आ जाइए। राइट।
Fantastic. Okay, next slide, please. So what are the best serves? What should you practice? What serves work in international competition? So if you're 12 years old now and you want to start practicing your serve, what are the best serves to practice? So let's watch Shard Kamal serving in the semi-final of the Oman Open. Watch these 3 serves, 3 different serves, 3 different points, but you can see the pattern. One serve. Okay, so in these 3 points, you can see that Shard Kamal always serves short to forehand. He serves short to forehand, he waits for long or half long return, and then he plays aggressively with his forehand. This one's very good down the middle. But this is the most effective serve in international table tennis. Very short serve to forehand, and then follow up with third ball attack. Can we watch one more time, please? So watch again, very short serve to forehand, and then aggressive attack after. This one was backhand attack. And forehand attack. Slow motion, short to forehand, long receive, attack to the middle. This is the best table tennis. Can we translate, please?
जैसा कि वीडियो में क्लियरली देखा जा रहा है, शरत ने जो सर्विस करी है वो शॉर्ट सर्विसेज हैं और शॉर्ट सर्विसेज में भी वापस सेकंड या थर्ड रिटर्न के अंदर ही स्कोर कर लिया गया है। तो वीडियो में अपने आप सारी पिक्चर एकदम क्लियर है कि किस स्ट्रेटेजी से हम शॉर्ट सर्विसेज को फोरहैंड पे यूज कर सकते हैं। राइट।
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, next good position for serve. Long serve to the middle, not to the backhand, not to the forehand, but to the middle. Play. It's not playing. Okay, you can see here, long serve to the middle. This makes the opponent confused. He doesn't know, should he play backhand or should he play forehand? So you can surprise the opponent with very fast serve to the middle of the table. This is another serve that you can practice by yourself. One more time, please. Okay, so as you can see, 2 of the best serves you can serve are very short to the forehand or very fast to the middle. If you use these 2 serves like Shard Kamal does in combination, then you have a very strong international strategy. So this is what you should be practicing. You should be practicing either very short serves or very long, fast serves, especially to the middle. Can we translate, please?
Okay. तो बच्चों को जो सिखाने के लिए अभी दो अच्छी चीजें बताई हैं ब्रैट ने, वो ये हैं कि यदि आप एक अच्छा कॉम्बिनेशन यूज कर रहे हैं दो तरीके की सर्विसेज का, जिसमें कि आप ओपोनेंट के फोर हैंड पे बहुत शॉर्ट सर्विस कर रहे हैं और उसके बाद में सेकंड सर्व आप मिडिल लाइन पे लॉन्ग कर रहे हैं, तो उससे ओपोनेंट को आप कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करेंगे कि वो जब मिडिल लाइन पे आ रही है तो उसको एक माइंड मेकअप करना होता है कि फोर हैंड से रिटर्न करेगा या बैक हैंड से रिटर्न करेगा। और चूंकि पहली सर्विस आपने फोर हैंड पे शॉर्ट सर्विस करी है और दूसरी आपने मिडिल लाइन पे लॉन्ग सर्विस करी है, तो इससे ज्यादा संभावनाएं बन रही हैं कि आप सर्विस के बाद थर्ड बॉल या फोर्थ बॉल से परफेक्ट बॉल से पहले ही अपना गेम अपना पॉइंट स्कोर कर लें। राइट,
Fantastic. And next slide, please. Okay, practicing your receive. This is Ma Long practicing his receive, and this you should do more of this with your coach if you can, or if you are a coach, you should do this more with your students. So in this video, Ma Long is working with his coach. The coach is serving mostly short to forehand, and Ma Long's practicing his feeling against serve. Waiting. I think it's coming. I think it's coming. Okay, so you can see here, Chinese coach is serving short to forehand, and Ma Long is practicing his short return. Again, short serve, trying to practice his feeling, short return. But this is not practicing backhand and forehand. This is only return. We can stop the video now. It's okay. We can stop the video. Yeah. So if you're a coach watching this, this is very important that with the young junior players, you practice only serve and return and focus very much on serve and return without worrying about backhand, forehand, and so on. Getting feeling over the table against very good serves. Translate, please.
जो भी छोटे बच्चे या उनके प्रशिक्षक, उनके कोचेज इस वीडियो को देख रहे हैं, इस सेशन को अटेंड कर रहे हैं, उनको पहले जब सर्विस के बारे में बताया गया था, उसके बाद में अभी जो वर्ल्ड के टॉप प्लेयर्स में से एक है मा लॉन्ग, उनके रिटर्न्स के बारे में अभी इस वीडियो में ब्रैट ने आपको बताया है। आपने देखा है कि किस तरह से जो फर्स्ट सर्विस रिटर्न्स जो कर रहे हैं, वो मा लॉन्ग बहुत शॉर्ट रिटर्न्स की प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं। अभी यहाँ पे फोर हैंड या बैक हैंड के किसी भी मैटर पे चर्चा नहीं की जा रही है, केवल हर सर्विस को वो किसी भी तरह से की जा रही है, साइड स्पिन से है, कैसे भी है, उसको बहुत छोटे से बहुत शॉर्ट सर्विस रिटर्न या बहुत रिटर्न नेट के एकदम नजदीक किस तरह से रिटर्न किया जाए, उसके बारे में इन वीडियोस में बताया गया है। ब्रैट, प्लीज।
Fantastic. Next video, please. Next slide. So what are the best returns? We can play the video, please. One of the best returns is to just directly make forehand topspin against the service, if you can. So Shard Kamal is very, very good at this. He's waiting for the long serve or half long serve, and he's always ready to attack the serve if it's half long. Here's some examples for you. Play one more time, please. Repeat. So this is something you should think about as well. When the opponent serves, get ready to make a top spin, because if you can make a top spin, it puts so much pressure on the opponent if they're serving long or half long too much. And Sharad Kamal's doing this very, very many times in a match. So think about it. If the opponent's serving like this reverse serve, many times it's long. You can make a strong attack with your forehand and you can win the point directly outright. This is one of Sharad Kamal's best parts of his game. He's always ready to attack with the forehand off against the opponent's serve. Translate, please.
आप लोग जैसे देख रहे हैं कि जब टॉप स्पिन हाफ लॉन्ग सर्विस की जा रही है तो शरद किस प्रकार से उसको टॉप स्पिन के द्वारा उस सर्विस को रिसीव कर रहे हैं या बॉल को रिटर्न कर रहे हैं. That.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, next very good return to use as a surprise is to play very fast push or cut to the middle or backhand. So if you're playing a lot short, this is a very good return. You can see Sharad Kamal's playing very, very much to the middle and then ready to counter attack. This is very good. So short serve, play fast to the middle or backhand, and then get ready to make the counter. You can see here, ready to make the counter, very good counter, and he wins the point. Quick translation, please.
सिमिलरली आप लोग जो अभी फोरहैंड के रिटर्न्स थे उनको आप मिडिल या बैकहैंड के जो लॉन्ग रिटर्न्स हैं उनके बारे में इस वीडियो में बताया जा रहा है एंड आप लोग वीडियोस के द्वारा इसको बड़े अच्छे से समझ सकते हैं. छोटे बच्चों को मैं और एक रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूंगा कि जब आप इन सारी चीजों को देख रहे हैं तो एक छोटे से नोटबुक अपने साथ में रख लें और जो भी कंटेंट जो भी स्ट्रेटजी जो भी स्किल ब्रेट के द्वारा बताई जा रही है उसको आप नोट जरूर कर दीजिए. ब्रेट प्लीज.
Okay, next slide. Next, very good return if you can make a banana flick. So this is Hamid Desai making a very good banana flick. So let's look here. And this is something you can practice with your coach as well. If they serve short, you can practice making this banana flick. Even against Chinese, this banana flick, Hamid's banana flick is very, very effective. Come in, make the banana, and many times you'll win the point directly. Translation, please, quick.
इस वीडियो में हमने देखा है कि हरमीत किस तरह से बनाना फ्लिक के द्वारा सर्विसेज को रिटर्न कर रहे हैं. बहुत क्विक रिटर्न्स हैं और जिस खिलाड़ी के अगेंस्ट ये रिटर्न किया जा रहा है वो जो चाइनीज प्लेयर हैं.
Next slide, please. And this is the next very good return, short to forehand. Very similar to the serve. If they serve short and you can make short return to extreme short forehand, this is also very good. And Sharad Kamal and Hamid are the best at this in India. Satyan as well. You can see if you can make short return, then you get longer balls and then you can make it many attacks. Short serve to forehand, short return to forehand, ready for the attack. Translate, please.
अभी जैसे आपने वीडियो में देखा कि फोरहैंड पे शॉर्ट सर्विस की गई है, फिर फोरहैंड पे ही शॉर्ट रिटर्न किया गया है और नेक्स्ट रैली के अंदर ही गेम बॉल को फिनिश कर दिया गया है, पॉइंट स्कोर कर लिया गया है. शरद, हरमीत और सत्यन इस तरीके के प्रैक्टिसेस काफी ज्यादा अपने गेम में करते हैं.
Next slide, please. Okay, so this is also important. You still need a very good backhand, very good forehand, and very good footwork. You can't just only have serve and return, because sometimes you need to play longer rallies, and these rallies are important. If you lose all the long rallies, sometimes you feel bad. So you can't just practice serve and return, but you need to practice serve and return a lot more. You also need to do regular training, so you have good backhand, good forehand, and good footwork in the matches. So let's watch some of the highlights of Sharad Kamal in some of his matches, and you will see how good his backhand and forehand are, even against Ma Long. And this is why you still need very good regular training. Can we make it bigger?
There is some technical glitch actually. The screen is not going full screen.
It's not going big. Double click on.
It's not going big. There's some technical problem, I guess.
What is the technical problem? Just maybe make it bigger.
Is it okay now?
Yes. Start again, please. So in this video, you can see that the rallies are quite long, and this is why you also need good backhand, good forehand, and good footwork, because you can't just win with serve and return every match. You can see Sharad here, he's playing Ma Long. He must play backhand and forehand, because Ma Long has very good service return. So you should understand that table tennis, although there's only 3.6 shots every rally on average, that sometimes you need to be able to play the big points as well. And this is why you do the regular training. Can we translate, please?
इस वीडियो में जिसमें कि आप देख रहे हैं शरत और मालोंग खेल रहे हैं, तो हालांकि एवरेज 3.6 रिटर्न्स या रैलीज में ही पॉइंट मैच्योर करने का ब्रैट की रिसर्च से पता चला था, पर कई बार कई पॉइंट्स लंबी रैली में भी समाप्त होते हैं। इसलिए हर खिलाड़ी को अपने बैकहैंड, फोरहैंड और विशेष रूप से अपने फुटवर्क पर भी बहुत ध्यान देना जरूरी होता है, ताकि यदि रैली लंबी जा रही है, 5, 7, 8 या 10 उसके बाद के भी रिटर्न्स आ रहे हैं, तो उन परिस्थितियों में हम अपने गेम को कैसे डोमिनेट कर सकते हैं, कैसे पॉइंट्स जीत सकते हैं। तो टेबल टेनिस केवल शॉर्ट सर्विस एंड रिटर्न पर ही सीमित नहीं है, कई बार लॉन्ग रैलीज भी पॉइंट को निर्धारित करने में मदद करते हैं। ब्रेट प्लीज।
Okay, so we can watch a little bit more and watch just, how strong Sharad Kamal has to be, even against this defensor. You can see that he must play a lot of forehands to win the point. So this is why you also need a good backhand and forehand, because if you play against a defensor or somebody who's very consistent, then of course you can't just return, you can't just serve, even though the average is very, very low. So now we will try and get Sharad Kamal to come in, and so everyone can see this player, this great player, and ask him some questions. Do you know if he's in the meeting already?
Just check. No, I guess he's not.
Okay. I will just call. If anyone has any questions for now, they can ask me. I will just try to get Sharad Kamal. Okay. No problem. No problem. He's coming in now. Are there any questions before he comes?
Participants, if you have any questions, you may please put it in the chat
I
box.
think so far we hadn't received any question.
He's entering now. So can you see him?
I had just found a question. A coach is asking that what is the best return for a player who is very good with his forehand but average with backhand?
Mm. I mean, this player needs to improve their backhand, yes?
Yeah,
So
his average with backhand.
I mean, the coach needs to understand his technique, and then he needs to teach the technique. If the player's young, they will learn quite quickly. So the coach needs to understand the technique, teach the technique, and then practice every day. So if you don't have a good backhand, it's very difficult because they can play to the corners, and then it's difficult. So the player must learn backhand, and the coach must have the skills to teach the player the technique. Sharad Kamal is in the chat. Yes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very well. Very well.
Is my audio clear? Is my audio clear?
Your audio is quite clear, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome to Sharad Kamal, India's highest ranked international player, number 31 in the world at the moment, and winner of the last World Tour tournament. Sharad, we've watched many of your points during this talk, and now we have some questions for you about serve and return, because your serve and return is one of the best in India and Asia, so it's very good.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you, Brett. Thanks for inviting me over, and thank you once again, Sai, for getting this amount of knowledge into Indian coaches and the players. So yes, I'll be more than happy to help you guys.
Fantastic. Okay, some questions. How much do you practice your serve?
I practice almost every day. I practice at least for 20 minutes, almost every day. And I try to do it before the start of my practice, because what I've understood is after my practice session, I'm not so focused enough into doing the service practice, especially service practice has a lot of intricacies of where to hit the ball, how you hit the ball, how you use the wrist, how you use your hips, how you stand in position. So a lot of things, your mind needs to be fresh when you're doing it. So that's what I've seen. Towards the end of the practice, when I do service practice, it's more or less like a formality routine. But then when I do it in the beginning of the practice, my focus is better, and my preparation into the practice, going into the practice is really good.
Wonderful. Many times in a match, you serve short to forehand.
Yeah.
Probably 70-80% short to forehand. Why do you always serve short to forehand?
Things have changed over the years. If you look like 10 to 12 years ago, the service always started from the backhand corner and went into the opponent's backhand corner. So it was always, most of the times, it used to be a diagonal serve. Because that was how the game was built, forehand service and then step around to play forehand. So this was how the game was built. But then as the game developed and people started using the banana flick more and more, serving into the backhand alone was not enough. So serving into the shot into the forehand was very, very important, so that you make the opponent move away from his comfort zone. Basically, generally, if you serve to the backhand and middle, you're more comfortable into receiving. You know, the ball comes closer to your body, so you don't need to move very much. But every time you serve shot in the forehand, we need to move. We need to move closer to the ball to control the ball and receive it. So that is the reason why we need to serve short in the forehand. It's a very, very important tool to have the right kind of variation in your serves.
Very good, very good. When you serve long a lot to the backhand, to the middle or the backhand. Why do you do that? And how often should you serve long to the middle?
I think even with your short experience with me as a coach, I think we've been together for 1 year, almost a year or something. And I think you have also insisted that I should be serving long more. I don't serve so many long serves in the game, but it's very, very important to serve long, because the first thing is you need to make the opponent guessing if it's going to be short or long. So the opponent doesn't come too close to the table and, you know, start to be receiving aggressive. So it's very, very important to serve long, and also to have that variation in not just the serve, but also the setting up of the game. See, many people are quite good with receiving on a short serve, because they know, for example, they don't pick the half lumps. They go in for the short service, and then they go aggressive with the receive. So against these kind of people, if you serve long, then they push behind the table, and then you can open up the game. So it's very, very important. You should serve long, and if you say how often, I think you should have at least 30 to 40% of long serves in the complete match. That's what I feel. That is the best thing. What let's say Amalraj Anthony or Satyan or Manav, they do very well with their game. They serve long, push the opponent behind, and then they counter attack. So that is a very important tool which we should be using. Many players should be using, but I personally haven't used that so much. But every time I use it, I've got a lot of benefits from it, because everybody thinks, okay, Kamal will serve short, Sharath serve short, and he's always trying to touch short. So they're all the time trying to come into the table. So in that way, I can push them away from the table.
Very good answer. Very good answer. Your serve is very low. It's one of the lowest serves on the circuit. It's very low. How do you keep the ball so low on your serve?
I think my serves are, as I said, it's very low and it's quite fast.
Yes.
Like the first and the second bounce on the table, it travels very fast. So that makes it difficult for the opponent to judge if the service is short or half long or what kind of spin it has. So that gives me the advantage. But it takes a lot of practice to do that, because I try to hit the ball as close to my body as possible and as close as possible to the table too.
Okay.
So I get my whole body, even though I throw the ball up, I wait for it to come down and then I hit it as close to the table as possible. So the precision in hitting it closer to the table keeps the service low. Basically, it keeps it just above the net. So many times if you see, I do have a lot of serves which hit the net, many reserves also. That's because of the precision I have. I try to keep the service pretty low on the. So the main thing is practice. But in the practice, I think it is about the concentration onto where you hit the ball exactly. It should be closer to your body and closer to the table. So that is a very, very important aspect.
Very good, very good. The next two questions are together in a way.
Yeah.
Your serve, you don't serve many different serves. Now you don't serve reverse and you only sometimes serve backhand, and many of your serves look very similar, but you're very, very good at one or two serves. Do you think this is important? Is it better to have one or two very, very good serves, or should you have maybe 10 average serves? What do you think?
I think now, if you look at how the game has progressed, you need to have more number of serves. But it can't be like as you said, 10 average serves. There needs to be 2 very good serves, 2 to 3, simple serves where you can have a change in tempo or change in the timing or change in placements or change in spin, where you get uh, where you make the opponent guess what is going to happen. And there needs to be a couple of serves which, even though if you're not comfortable doing those serves or following up after those serves, you need to have those serves to break the opponent's rhythm. So I think that's very, very important. And that is something which is lacking in my game, which I always felt, okay, I need to add a couple of more serves. But somehow I haven't been able to do so. And also with the reverse, I used to do a lot of reverse a few years ago. But in the recent times, I've lost my touch with the reverse. I've not been, even though I practice it pretty much, I still don't feel comfortable with the serve. And if you see, yeah, as you said, many people have said this, that my serves look pretty similar, from outside. It always has the same spin, same trajectory. But what I have good, what I do well with my serves is, the first thing is the placement of the serves. I move my serves all around the table. I serve it deep into the backhand. I serve half longs on purpose. I serve, deep in the forehand. So I use my hips very well, my shoulders very well in my serves. And the second thing is, I have a lot of spin in my wrist. That's somehow a little bit, I've always been gifted with that amount of spin. Because when you look from outside, my serves doesn't look so much, so heavy. But when you receive it, there's always that extra downspin or that extra side spin which is there, which helps me get, the balls what I want. So that is something which I use to my advantage of the game. And there are, if you see, I change a lot with the tempo of my serves. There are many times I serve quite high. There are many times I serve a little bit low. There are sometimes I serve very fast, like especially when the game is closer and when it's more tense, I tend to serve a little bit faster. So the opponent needs to decide faster what has to be done. That gives me that extra advantage of my serve.
Very good answer. Very good answer. Can we go to the next slide about return, please? Okay, similar to the question about your serve, because you serve a lot short to forehand, you also return a lot short to forehand, and you have very good feeling on this short return. Why do you always return short to forehand? What advantage do you get from returning very short to forehand?
I've built my game with returning short in the forehand. So that's how my game starts off. I play short in the forehand. The opponent comes in. They play a ball, let's say a short back or a flick or a top spin. They come in and then I try to take over. So that is how I've built my game. And I have practiced millions of times the short receive. I think that is how the game was back in the early 2000s, where you have to touch short. There was not much of banana flicks. So there was more of forehand receives. So with forehand receives, there were only a few options like short or long push or a bit of a flick. So I always prefer to touch short. But as you said, even the next question is asking you've been asking me about how did I get good? How did I become good in returning the shot? That is only because I've practiced it so many times. I found out the timing of timing and the technique of returning shot. So I generally hit the ball at almost the highest point to play shot. So I have my racket very high on the table. I don't wait for the ball to come to me. I go to the ball. I wait for the ball to jump onto the highest point and then play from up to down. So then that keeps the ball low on the other side. Even if it's half long, the ball stays low. So the opponent needs to only spin the ball. So he doesn't have so many options. So I've practiced this over and over again so many times, and that is why I've become good in returning short.
Very good at returning short, yes. When should you push long? Maybe you don't push long often enough sometimes, but when
yes.
When
yes.
When do you believe you should push long? If you're returning short too much, or what? Depends on the opponent. When should
You
you
need
push
to mix
long?
it up. You need to mix it up because game these days is not one-dimensional. It has become multi-dimensional. People are doing banana. People are doing short push. People are doing long push. They're starting on the half longs. So the game has become multi-dimensional. So I think it's very, very important to open up the game, push long, and prepare for the block. So as the next question of yours is also, what is your plan after pushing long? So generally it is like push long and you wait with your racket up for the block, because when you push long, you don't expect the opponent to push back. So you don't need to take the racket back looking for a topspin or to start topspin. It is more or less like you push long and you wait for the block with the racket high up. So I think that is the connection between long push and waiting for the block. So that is very, very important. And you should be pushing long every time you feel confident about opening up the game, or you feel that the opponent is waiting too much for the short game, or if he's well prepared for the short game. So when you push long, you're pushing the opponent away from the table. That gives you time to counterattack or to block and then take over into an attacking position. So even though I don't have a great defensive game, I still many times push long, I block the first one and then go into counter option for the next one. So those are the combinations which you need to have.
Very good. Last question. Your top spin against half long and long serves is for sure the best in India and absolutely world class. If the ball's coming off the end of the table, you make very strong forehand topspin. And we looked at a few in the videos before. Is this something you practice? And how do you know if the serve is half long?
Knowing how it's half long is about the judgment of how the ball is jumping. Let's say if the opponent is serving, directly when he hits it on his court, you know for a matter of fact that the service is going to be short or half long, depending on your judgment of the speed and the placement of his first bounce. So again, this comes with a lot of practice. As a young player, I practiced a lot of half long balls. As I again say, back then, my coaches, Srinivasa and Muralidhar Rao, they were like very, very persistent that nobody's going to push you long and let you start off. Everybody in the international level is going to play you short and then try to attack against you. So you need to be able to solve the short balls. So I think you also mentioned, and in today's presentation also probably you will have explained that when I start on the half long, I always start with hitting the ball over the table. I don't wait for the ball to drop down. I hit the ball over the table. So that is very, very important. So when you start off over the table and you give a follow through, you can start on, even if it's not a half long ball, even if it's just high over the net, you can go in to start those balls. So it is all about practice and practicing with the right technique. You need, for the half long balls, if you start to practice half longs and you hit the racket at the edge of the table or your finger on the edge of the table, yes, of course, it's very painful, but that is wrong technique. You should not hit the table. If you start over the table and if you're able to use your underarm and your wrist properly, you can hit every ball over the net into the other side of the table. So I think it's very, very important to start on half longs, especially these days when people are playing so aggressive and they're not letting you have any time with playing, especially they're playing so fast. So I think it's very, very important to start off the half longs. That is where you put in a lot of pressure to the server also, because every time you pick those half longs, the server is going to reduce his quality on the serves, and because he wants to keep it short. With reduced quality on the serves, you're going to have better chances to receive with more options.
Yeah. So you're saying that when you make a topspin against the serve of the half long or long, you put pressure and make the opponent more nervous. So then his serve is not so strong after he's nervous. That's very smart. Yes. Yes. Okay, this is amazing, and thank you so much for coming in. This is wonderful that we have India's highest ranked player here today to talk to us about his game, because every child, every player in India can learn so much from the experience of Sharad Kamal and Satyan and Hamid and Manika. So to have one of those players here today, the highest ranked player, that is incredible. So Sharad, thank you so much
Thank
for
you, Brett.
coming in. This
Thank
is
you very
amazing.
much for having me in. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we'll let you go, huh?
Yes.
Okay,
Have a good session. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So just to finish off, I hope today we learned about the importance of serve and return. You can see Sharad Kamal is very serious about serve and return. He's practicing his serve every day. He said he's practiced his short push millions of times. So, and session. And if you click on the video links, you will go to YouTube and you can see all of the videos from today as well. I'm finished.
Brett, we have some questions with us. One of the coach wants to ask that, as you mentioned in the initial session, that you can practice it at your home during this lockdown phase, even sometimes without table. So is it not going to affect the real-time situation when we will be approaching to the table and then we'll serve?
I think it's better than doing nothing for sure. If you do nothing, you will lose the feeling with the racket, with the ball. You will lose the contact, the feeling of the spin, how to make spin. So I think it's better to serve onto the floor or onto the bed or onto the table, onto any table to keep the feeling of the serve, keep the spin of the serve. Even if you walk around the house and you're just hitting the ball around and practicing your serve, for 100% for sure, it's better than doing nothing for 3 months. Because if you do nothing for 3 months and you come back to table tennis, it will feel like the first time.
Atul sir. Atul sir. Sir, Dhanraj sir has joined us. So I would request you to just.
I request Dhanraj sir to, since this is the first session of this e-Pathshala, and in the beginning we had received the blessings from Shri MP Singh ji, Secretary General KTFI, and Shri Shiv Kumar ji, Regional Director SAI. I request the kind self to kindly bless. We had just finished the communication with Sharat. Today's session is delivered by Brett.
Thank you, Atul, and once again, I would like to say thank you very much, Sports Authority of India, that they have started the coaching education program, and it has started today. In phase 1, that is a program 1, we had 21 days program started from 16th April to 8th May. Coaches education program with the help of SAI, in which the SAI and Federation has invited many eminent persons like Massimo, Peter Engel, Sharad, Satyan, and many other, you see the legend players in table tennis. It was very, very useful course. So SAI has started again the coaching program for the players, and it has started from today, and it will go on for 16 days. That is 16 lectures, and today was a very good topic, and it was started by Massimo. And we have just listened to Sharad Kamal, who is the best server and best receiver in the country, not in the country, but in Asia also. And you have heard him, and he has told you the all experience he was having. So once again, on behalf of the Table Tennis Federation of India, I say a big thank you to Sports Authority of India and Table Tennis Federation of India to started this program. Thank you very much, Mr. Atul. All the best. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Now we should continue the communication with Mr. Brett. As Mr. Brett told that during this lockdown days, doing nothing is a not good idea at all. If you are not having the table, you are not having the other amenities, at least you can give some exercise to your forearm muscles and have a feel of gripping the racket and keep on doing the service practices on the floor even. And if you are not comfortable with the floor, you can use your study tables. We are seeing so many videos on Facebook, on other social networking sites, that people, some eminent players, some world class players are practicing at their home in their kitchen. So it doesn't matter that you are not having the actual table in your home, house or club. You can practice. You can keep on your major group of muscles involved in that particular skill to keep practicing, practicing and practicing. I think what the just Brett has tried to convey you all. Am I right, Brett?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Anything you do with the racket and ball, if you have a robot and a table, you're very lucky. But you don't need a table and a robot. You can still hit the ball around. You can still serve the ball at home and keep this table tennis feeling and some touch. And you can also watch matches and of the best players and stay in contact with the sport in the lockdown.
So one more question is coming to us, that is, what should be the time proportion of practicing service? Though in his talk, Sharad just told that to become a Sharad Kamal, he has tried million times practicing the service. So what is your view, Brad?
I think in Asia, I would say the players, they practice a minimum of 30 minutes a day. A minimum of 30 minutes a day, and I would say at least the same on service return. So you should, when you get back to the hall, back to the stadium, I would say if you can practice at least 20 minutes a day, you're doing very well. But many players, they're practicing 0 minutes a day. They're not practicing their serve. So anything that you do is better than doing nothing. Even if you do 5 or 10 minutes, it's a big improvement on doing nothing.
अभी जैसा ब्रैट ने कहा है कि हाफ एन आवर, आधा घंटा आपको सर्विस की प्रैक्टिस जरूर करनी चाहिए और आधा घंटा आपको कम से कम रिटर्न की प्रैक्टिस करनी चाहिए. तो जो शेड्यूलिंग आप कर रहे हैं तो उसमें एक अच्छा प्रोपोर्शन आप सर्विस पे और फर्स्ट रिटर्न पे जरूर दें. इसके अलावा फिलहाल मेरे पास कोई क्वेश्चंस अवेलेबल हो नहीं रहे हैं. सो दिस इज of India and Table Tennis Federation of India. We thank you, Brett. We thanks to Sharath. Brett, you had given a wonderful session, and we'll keep on having your guidance, your services, your help to improve the level of table tennis, reach more on high altitude. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening. Very good.
Tomorrow morning, our session will commence in the scheduled time, that is at 10 a.m. And tomorrow's speaker will be Mr. Ravi Kanodia. I request Biswajit to kindly display the slide for the tomorrow session.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that slide will be displayed. I'll be sharing it to you. You can then share it to the groups.
Okay.
That slide is not ready yet with us.
Okay, then we can cut in the session with a note that tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock we'll be resuming the session. And again, we request all the kids to please keep some notebook, some writing pen, pencil, something, so that what are the important tips which you should incorporate while learning the game, while practicing the game. All the best for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session, and thank you to all the participants for joining in. And also thank you for bearing with the network issues that we are having a bit. There are a bit of technical problem and technical glitches here in Kolkata after the cyclone. So thank you for bearing with the network issues. And hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow, same time around 10 a.m. Thank you. Have a great day.